Alright, turning down volume a little bit. Let's put it back a little bit. Hopefully that's still slightly audible. And looks like we're going into game number 1. Alright, everybody, welcome. This is Group F of the Ro32 here in the Fix Star League number... Well, it's not the Fix Star League number 9, it's the Sonic Star League number 9, sponsored by Fix. Hence it is the Fix Star League. And we're going on Mist here for a PvZ to start the day. We've got 2 Paralysis, 2 Zergs in the group. Starting off with Larva versus JangBi. And some good old loading action on the stream. Fantastic. You know, might as well get that out of the way at the beginning of the stream, so, you know, when important stuff starts to happen, we don't have any of that. I think this is the way to go. Alright, so here's Mr. Larva. Apparently 81 and 95 in broadcasted games or something. I assume that means broadcasted by Sonic. I don't think he actually played any televised games, because he was on SKT at one point. But whoa, are we? Is this FP view? Oh man, Sonic, he's upgraded. Look, we've got like actual FP view on the thing. That's why it looks all stretchy. Because because the players obviously don't have the widescreen resolution hack, so they're playing in the normal 4:3, and we're stretching this. But before, like on Thursday, Sonic just they switched into just having the camera look at the screens in the studio. But it looks like they've actually plugged a thing in to the actual player's view now, so we can get a good look. This is awesome. This is good times. This is of course JangBi's view here, and you can see him in the booth. Man, this is such a cool setup. Ah, so awesome. Anyway, apparently JangBi just does not have nearly as many televised games. Of course, he did hop onto the Saspa scene much later than Larva, so that's to be expected. And apparently recently he's been fairly inactive as well, so I don't really know what is going on with him. But hopefully he can provide a good game against Larva. I mean, like, if JangBi was on form, clearly he'd be the favorite here, but I have no idea, actually. And Larva seems to take these things fairly seriously, so I'd imagine he's been practicing, you know, decent amount, preparing for these matches. And especially when you got a map like Mist in the pool, having a decent amount of preparation is super useful. Anyway, JangBi just gonna do the good old hatchery denial. I got some nice chasing by this drone though. He's getting a lot of shots off on this probe. This is really good. It's obviously obviously both players actively microing the workers here, but look at this. Really, really nice. So wards that probe away. And he went for a pool first anyway, so it's not like he was being massively delayed in the first place. But yeah, I don't think he's been delayed at all now. And this probe could just, you know, die to that one Zergling very easily. So we have the Forged Nexus Cannon. Pretty standard here from JangBi. Meanwhile, another drone heading over to the top left-ish base there to get Larva's third. He did take the gas before even sending out that drone, which I think is becoming more standard now. We're not becoming, I think it is more standard now. To do that, I think in the past he would have delayed that gas a little bit longer, say a couple of years ago, but now you can get it quite quick. Anyway, that hatchery positioning looks a little bit awkward. I think that's more or less correct. I'm not really sure. I mean, basically, it looks like the way it's placed, the gas mining will be the most efficient, but obviously the bottom minerals will be a little bit far away. But the thing that Zerg players will be doing on ZVP on this map is just placing more hatcheries there. I think in the games on Thursday, the Zerg player in ZVP placed like 3 hatcheries there in a line. So basically you get the maximum efficiency from both the minerals and the gas, which is really nice. So I think that positioning, even though it looks slightly awkward for the minerals, will just be covered by additional hatcheries there. And of course Zergs will be going for multiple additional hatcheries in this matchup anyway, so it's not like that's a deviation from the norm. Unfortunately for Larva, he's let another probe into his base. I mean, he's not really cheesing or anything, but you know, that's just going to confirm for JangBi that he doesn't have to build any extra cannons at his front or anything like that. You can see the lair morphing there. I'm not 100% sure if he scouted the third. I don't think he did, but can probably assume that that's there. And he is sending his Zealot over there. just now. The Overlord of Larva actually isn't quite in position to see that Zealot moving out. It's heading straight over into the main right now. So this Zealot can actually... Oh, is he going to dodge the Overlord vision range? I'm not really sure. Well, he's going to get spotted by this, the Zergling now anyway, so Larva won't be caught by surprise. But I mean, he should know that the Zealot's coming at this time anyway, so... I don't think it makes a huge difference. We do have a good number of Zerglings coming out now. Now this could actually be slightly dangerous for two reasons. First of all, it's going to deny the Zealot from doing anything, but also there's only one cannon here, as you can see, and that is quite a big gap above the wall. So if Larva just goes for, you know, either a bust or a run by with these Lings, that could be quite devastating for JangBi. And here he goes. Looks like Ling Speed has finished, and he is going for a break on the cannon. The cannon's going to fall. Luckily, a second Zealot pops out just in the nick of time for JangBi. Very, very fortunate timing on that second Zealot, and with a nice little block there of the probes, only 2 Speedlings do get into the main here. They're going to get a complete scout. They're going to see +1 Corsairs are on the way for JangBi. And cause a little bit of disruption to the mining right here. Whoa, looks like we have a potential disconnect here in the actual game. Uh-oh. Oh man, for a second I thought it was a stream. I was like, oh god, not again. But I hope we don't have a drop here. Okay, no we don't. Looks like, oh man, what is going on? Oh no, no! I wonder if they're actually playing on like a real LAN, or they're just playing on Battle.net, or not Battle.net, but on Fish. Because I mean they're all in the same place, right? So they could actually have a real like physical LAN. But I don't know. Well, I guess we're gonna chill for a second here. I'll have a gander at the chat. Apparently there's a troll in here. Do we have any mods? Do we have... Are there any mods in existence here? I see Tupacalypse is in here. Tupacalypse clearly not on the ball. Got a few staff members I could probably mod. Yeah, let me just mod hide. That seems useful. I don't know. See, I feel kind of nervous modding people in the Team Liquid stream, because obviously like I am not a lord of Team Liquid. I am not. I am just a lowly staff member, so I'm a little bit nervous about this. I think if I just mod staff members, it's probably legit. Hyde, can you type something so I can see if that worked? Anyway. Oh, Bisu Dagger's here too. That guy's got an icon. Can probably mod him. Oh, I can't click his name though. Alright, I got... Oh shit, I think I banned him by accident. What did I click? I just clicked something. Oh wait, no, maybe I clicked voice. Okay, I click op now. Ah, Hyde's not doing anything. Fine, I'll unmod you. God, Hyde. Damn it, Hyde. Alright, I unmodded you then, Hyde. Oh, this is terrible. What is Tupacalypse doing? That guy, man. Such a slacker. Apparently this did not work with Bisu Dagger. No, it did. It did. I have a D-op button on you now. I don't know why you don't have an icon. Oh my god, all these buttons. Oh wait, no, it worked. Okay, sweet. Anyway, apparently this is like a complete drop, as you can see, but they did save the game, so I think they might be able to resume. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think that works. I'm pretty sure that that will work. But apparently they're just chilling. Larva's not even gaming anymore. Larva's like out of the game. And it looks like they are actually using an actual LAN. They're not playing on Fish. You can see from like the screen thing here. Pretty sure that's what that means. Whoa my god! That's Sonic Stream. Did Sonic Stream just die? This is the like Afrika page. Oh man, did they just like lose internet in the building or something? Oh god, that would be terrible. Did somebody just like unplug the internet cable from everything? Oh god, power outage, shit, shit. Yeah, I don't think this is either Caucasians. I don't think this is Caucasian CA's issue either. I think Sonic, the studio's actually got a problem now. This seems bad. This seems extremely suboptimal. Oh, that's a good point, Zenursik. Zenursik says we've had 3 disconnects on Mist so far. But there's definitely no way a map can influence that, right? Oh, CA says, please wait a bit longer. There seems to be something wrong with one of the PCs. They're gonna restart the PC and thus restart Afrika. Okay, so they're restarting. Nice. Okay, sweet. So we just get to look at this little thing. And wait for them to come back, I guess. Clearly, Broodor is not above these issues either, despite having all the fancy LAN things. Oh, yay! We're back. Is this a regame though, or are we resuming? I think we're doing a regame. That's what it looks like. I don't know what it looks like when you resume a safe game. I don't think I've ever, well, not since I was like 12 and played the campaign for the first time have I ever saved the game since. So I don't even know what it looks like anymore. And go. So that's a little bit unfortunate for Larva, because I think, well, there were only 2 speedlings in the main, so I don't think it was like game-changing per se, but if I was Larva, I would be slightly annoyed by this. I would definitely be annoyed. I think JangBi is probably going to be a little bit more careful about the lane attack this game. So yeah, it's problematic. Hopefully Larva doesn't just get frustrated and try and cheese him or something, just do like a Hydra all-in or Ling all-in or something like that. I mean, it could work, but oftentimes, you know, you can just get yourself in weird mental states like that and end up losing games that you prepared for with different builds. Just got to be careful. Although, of course, in the Pure versus Beast game on this map where there was a disconnect, Beast did successfully just cheese out his opponent in the regame, so hey, it works. Definitely does work. So, Probe guy coming out again. Last game, what was it? Just overpool into standard stuff, going into lair, versus just standard 4-V from the Protoss. I'd imagine we'll see the same thing here. Pretty sure that's an overpool. Yep, there we go. So overpool again. JangBi's probably gonna do a little bit of hatchery harassment, but again, against an overpool and against someone doing some really awesome drone micro like Larva did last game, it's probably not gonna make any difference whatsoever. So, well, now we have to do the intro thing all over again. Fantastic. I wonder if Larva has any awesome ceremony prepared if he beats JangBi. Or I guess he'd have to do it after he wins, if he wins, not wins a group, but gets out of the group. Because Larva, you know, Larva's like, he does crazy things on his stream, but he's like a more mild version of Terror, you know? Like, Terror just takes things way too far, to the point where you look at it, it's just like, that's just, you know, weird and just uncomfortable. I mean, like, oh man, Terra's just, I don't know. Like, I kind of feel bad. It's like, this guy is seriously injuring himself and, like, you know, decreasing his lifespan. I mean, dude's like drinking bottles of soy sauce and stuff. It's definitely not good for you. Whereas Larva, you know, aside from jumping out a second story window and ending up with a back brace, up to this point, I don't think he's, you know, seriously injured himself. so he's got that going for him. He's got that going for him. I say jumping out, of course, but we don't know what really happened. He probably wasn't streaming at the time either, because if it happened during like a stream stunt, I'm sure people would just have screenshots and stuff and be talking about it. So it must have happened at some other point, but I just don't understand how that happens. Like, was he just hanging laundry out his window and just fell out? Like, how does that even happen? Anyway. So, interesting to note, by the way, JangBi didn't even try to block the natural hatchery this time. At least I don't think he did. Wasn't really paying attention. Because as I said, it would just have not really done anything and would have cost him a lot of APM for basically no gain. Not just APM, it would have cost his probe a lot of HP. As we saw last game, his probe was like basically dead when the drone was done with it, so probably better just to keep this guy with all his HP so he can scout around. So he's gonna see a third hatchery here. Yep, it's like, alright, you got a third. That's pretty good. Just confirming that. And he's gonna go back. Just thinking about that wall at the front here. You see, this wall, not only is the gap really big on the top of the gateway, but the gap is on the same side as the ramp. So it's very easy to do run-bys into the main, which is really not so nice. So generally, you know, if you do have to have a gap in your wall, you want it to be kind of on the opposite side, or on the far side from the ramp, so at least if the Zerg does try a run-by, it's slightly farther away. And if you do a block, like the cannons are a little bit more in range. Although, of course, it does depend on the map. You can't always control that. But it just means that it's slightly suboptimal. I mean, like, if you compare it to if the Protoss had spawned on the left side of the map, he would have been able to. He would have built the same kind of structure, but with the forge and gateway touching the cliff on the bottom side, which means it would have blocked the ramp a little bit better. Slight positional balance. And look at this, we got 2 zealots blocking this time. With all this, so all these speedlings probably not going to be able to do too much here. Larva going for a similar idea like he did last time. The timing is a little bit later though, because last game, of course, he went in right as the second zealot popped, and this time the second zealot's already out. So I don't know if that was just slightly delayed. Oh, here we go. This time Gus goes for the run-by because he sees both zealots there, but the zealots, of course, weren't actually completely blocking. I don't know why he didn't just block above the gateway. I guess 2 zealots doesn't completely block there, but he should have just used a probe. Considering a scouting probe did see the speedlings finish, so I'm a little bit surprised that JangBi allowed this to happen. He could have easily just blocked with 2 zealots and a probe at the top above the gateway, so yeah, this is costing him a lot of mining time again. That's really not ideal. In fact, this is probably a better situation, to be honest, than what happened last game, because the cannon at the front isn't that useful in these kind of situations. Oh man, he gets the cannon in the main too. Oh, I think that was a kill too. Usually when that happens, that's a kill. The Protoss player won't try, will try and leave that to the last second and just stack his probes to save it. Does not want to cancel and rebuild that cannon. So I feel like that's likely actually a kill on the cannon. So yeah, I guess the regame has actually turned out a little bit better. For Larva now. But you know, we see the same kind of openings anyway from both players. So JangBi again going for the Pulse 1 Corsairs. Oh, he's getting a Stargate camps now. The cannon's not there actually, so it's gonna be a little bit close here. But it looks like the cannon will just finish. Although the Zergling's gonna tank a shot and still killing probes. Actually, 2 kills on that Zergling. Very nice stuff here from Larva, who, despite being hospitalized for some amount of time, I don't actually know how long he was in the hospital, seems to be pretty on his game here. You know, the thing is, it's the little like mechanical things. So like the drone micro and the Ling micro there, those kind of things generally what suffer the most when you don't practice for a while. Because like general like strategy and game sense, that stuff I think obviously it doesn't wear down as quickly, but it's like the APM intensive little micro things that are not as good if you're not completely in practice. Anyway, JangBi, by the way, is still not completely blocking his wall. There's still a gap there for Zerglings to run in. I don't know why he insists on blocking above the cannon instead of above the gateway, because he's got 3 zealots now. He can definitely block above the gateway. So I don't know what's up with that. It doesn't really make any sense to me. Is he just like inviting the Zerg to run in? Now that he's got a cannon in the main base, it's not as big a deal, but Still seems kind of weird. And JangBi losing a Corsair there. You can see JangBi's control is just not very good this game at all. The probe control against the Zerglings, and now the Corsair control, I mean, they're not even completely stacked. So JangBi definitely looks a little bit shaky here in this game. Kind of shows he's out of practice. In the meantime, we got the nice little trio of hat-tricks here at the 12 o'clock with a nice little position of the Sunken and Spore at the back, so no way this DT is going to do anything. I gotta say, I'm really liking Larva's play so far. We haven't seen anything too major yet happen, but so far it's a lot more solid than JangBi. Anyway, so we got +1 now on the way for the ground. I'm not sure if it's done for the Corsairs yet, actually. I'd imagine it probably is, or at least very close. And it looks like Larva wants to grab these DTs. Gotta be a little bit careful, obviously. He doesn't have Overlord speed yet. He was just hoping to kind of move the slow Overlord out a little bit and just get a Zergling surround on the DTs and just kill them while JangBi wasn't paying attention. But unfortunately for him, JangBi was paying attention, so that was not to be. And yeah, the +1 is done. Looks like we're back up to 6 Corsairs. So here's the move out. Gonna have some slow Zealots here moving out with the Corsairs. Oh, but there's a trap on the DTs. Oh man, Larva executing it anyway. Even though it didn't quite work the first time, he gets it the second time while JangBi moves out with this ground force. That is not good. Meanwhile, the Corsairs come in, try and get a couple Overlords, but there are Hydras underneath. The Zealots don't even have +1, and they don't even have speed, actually. Okay, now they have speed, but they don't have +1, so they're really not going to be that scary to Larva. The Corsairs are actually probably scarier to him. He's got to be a little bit careful with the positioning of his Overlords and his Hydras. He does have Spores at his natural and his third, though, so even in the worst case where he loses all the Overlords, he still wouldn't just die to a DT. So, looks like we have Hydra production started, or underway. As you can see, the big flood of Hydras coming out. So basically, that's the way the ZVP goes. You kind of drone up as much as you can until like 40, low 40s in supply, depending on what build you're doing, and then you suddenly just switch into pure Hydra production. You come out with a load of Hydras, and the Protoss basically just kind of has to hold on a little bit. Especially when you go for Corsairs like this, you know, you're not really gonna have much ground army, so you just kind of have to defend with cannons and storm, and pray that your storm is on time. I assume JangBi's timing will be good enough that his storm is going to be sufficient. I may assume wrong. Oh man, if this storm doesn't finish in the next 5 seconds, he could just die immediately right now. But this really should not be happening. This storm should finish. Oh man, one of the High Templars already got sniped. The second one almost got sniped. And there's the storm, so he is going to be okay. Losing the gateway and a cannon, having to build a bunch of extra cannons, but it is in time. As you can see. And now, oh man, a lot of these Overlords are gonna fall. If that last Overlord, oh my god, what the hell is JangBi doing? He didn't even kill the last Overlord and just flew over the Hydras. If he killed the last Overlord, he could have just used DTs also to just defend everything. Man, oh, looks like he's gonna try and intercept. Oh man, Larva was trying to bring additional Overlords to the front, so JangBi knew that was gonna happen. Going for the intercept, really, really nice. See, this is the problem with Larva's attack right there. Because it's been warded away, all his Hydras are now out of position at the front of the Protoss base, so the Corsairs fly straight past over to the Zerg base, and potentially get a lot more Overlord kills here. One Spore Colony is not really going to do it. You need a decent number of Hydras underneath to really deter the Corsairs. Although, you know, JangBi did already take a good amount of damage when he flew over them the first time, so his Corsairs aren't going to be quite as resilient. Anyway, I was going to grab another Overlord here, that one that got away. And now JangBi's going to move out. I'm a little bit skeptical about this because he's only got speed lots and 3 High Templar. It's not quite that many speed lots, so if Larva's got really good control and positioning, he can do this! He can just run in and snipe High Templar, and speed lots are gonna have a hard time to actually block that, but it looks like JangBi is gonna get a decent positioning anyway, and Larva's gonna have to retreat here. I think Larva probably could have done a slightly better job of maybe using a smaller group of Hydras to just run in and try and pick off the High Templar. But as it is, oh man, JangBi again not paying attention, losing a good number of his Corsairs. It looks like he only has 3 Corsairs remaining. The ground army is coming in here. Larva doesn't have any lurkers yet, so this is a pretty good timing actually still to just have only the speed lots, but I don't know how many storms he have left. I feel like he might just have 2 storms maybe. See, there goes one. And see, this is what I'm talking about, these small Hydra little run-ins. You see, he just used 3 Hydras to kill a High Templar. That is so worth it for the Zerg. And the Zealots really just can't defend it very easily. Just without range, you can't just, it's hard to chase down those Hydras just dodging around, sniping the High Templar, and this High Templar obviously are very, very slow. And look at this, again, just baiting out 2 storms here. Even though he didn't kill the High Templar, 2 storms for 2 Hydras is really not good. You know, he took some damage on the other Hydras, but now I'm pretty sure JangBi has no storms left. And all the Hydras remain, and the Zealots by themselves are going to have a really tough time against all these Hydras, although it's going to be close though. Oh man, morphing like a giant lurker egg wall there. When those finish, obviously he'll be completely fine. He's got to be a little bit careful though. Luckily he's got a nice little wall here. He can just plug all the gaps with more lurker eggs. So he should be fine. And these Zealots actually are going to be a little bit stuck now if those lurkers finish. Oh man, Larva, if he just morphs eggs on that ramp, yes, he's going to trap the Zealots. If these lurkers finish, he can get all the Zealots, but it looks like the lurker eggs not quite going to finish. That would have been absolutely beautiful if those lurkers had finished right there and he just burrowed and the Zealots were completely slaughtered. Oh god, that would have been so good. But as it is, that was still pretty good overall by Larva. Really, really loving this. Meanwhile, he's also getting another base at the top right. And there's something at the bottom left. I don't think that's a base though. It looks off position, so it's probably just an overlord of some wings or something. Or maybe it's some Hydras. I think he put some Hydras down there earlier. And now we have the... And it looks like JangBi hasn't remacroed any High Templar whatsoever. Look at this. He's got just a single High Templar chilling in the cannons. He's got a bunch of goons, but, you know, he really needs some storms to deal with this. And now he's just going to get absolutely contained here. This is really, really horrible for JangBi. It looks like we're doing a switch into the first-person view. Man, everything looks huge in the first-person view now. Because the resolution is different. Obviously, Sonic with his Obsing is using a higher, or is getting to see more of the map, as you can see. Anyway, so JangBi is now brutally contained. He's gonna have like one bust out attempt, I think, and then if that fails, then he's probably just gonna have to throw in the towel. And he's gonna have to break out really efficiently if he wants this to work, and that's not gonna happen without a good amount of storms. Looks like some Hydras moving in to ward away these Dragoons. He's gotta be careful with that Obs. At least he's doing a good job controlling the Obs. Oh man, JangBi's just gonna go. I don't think that's correct. There's too many lurkers left. He just sent in the Zealots. JangBi got a little bit impatient there and just suicided a whole bunch of units for no reason. You have to use the Goons and the Templar first to clear as much of the lurker field as possible. If you just send in the Zealots prematurely, they'll just get absolutely slaughtered and basically just do nothing, and then you've just wasted all your Zealots. Anyway, nice storm on the lurker eggs there. Gonna grab a couple of the Hydras as they unmorph. But you see, here's the thing, the technique for breaking out of this kind of contain is the Dragoons go in the front and just, you know, attack down the lurkers, because with their range they won't really take any of the splash. And then if the Zerg tries to counter by moving in the Hydras, then you have the Storms, you have the High Templar backing them up. The Zealots are the absolute last line to go out. The Zealots really have no part in this until the very end, where you do the giant break, right? In the initial skirmishes of cutting down the lurker numbers, the Zealots should just be hold position behind your lines. They should not be doing anything. And see, like JangBi, he wants to kind of do that, I think, but just because of the lack of storms, it's just really, really hard for him to actually just wait that long. Like, he doesn't want to let the contain get too strong either. So, you know, he's in a bit of a rough spot. Looks like gonna save his observers, though. At the very least, he's doing a good job of keeping the observers alive, but, you know, that doesn't mean much if you can't kill the lurkers. Now, one thing I don't know if JangBi realizes is that because he's mined out the back of his natural, he can actually expand to the back. Oh my god, we're gonna have a sunken lurker spore container. Larva has actually built a hatchery at the front of the Pearl space, but JangBi can actually take the bottom right base here from the other side. I don't know if he realizes this, if he's familiar enough with the map, but he can actually still get an expansion right now, because I assume he's got quite a few minerals in the bank. Anyway, JangBi's moving out now. He really needs some storms to help break this. He really wants to break this before the Sunkens and Spores get up, because if those get up, it's going to be almost physically impossible for him to break out. And it looks like Larva going in for the Observer snipe, but he doesn't quite get the other Observer. Loses a lot of his Hydras in the attempt. Where are the storms? Okay, there's another storm. It's not that good, though. It basically hits nothing there. JangBi, though, has 5 High Templar now, needs the storms, man. The storms are key. Where are the storms? Oh my god, JangBi, you're the goddamn storm toss, man. What is going on? Oh my god. Anyway, so JangBi now is getting essentially mined out. He is actually sending a probe to the back, though, like I suggested, so it looks like he might actually have figured out that this is possible, if he didn't know already. But he's also just lost so many units at the front. Although, oh man, see this time, see that is what we needed like the entire time. Oh, see those Those were good. Those were good. But GG from JangBi. It looks like it's not enough. He's just run out of units at the front. And Larva takes game number 1. Very well played by Larva. Really impressed by that game, actually. JangBi, not very impressed by him, unfortunately. But that's alright. That's alright. It is a best of 3 for the first 2 series. So we can still make a comeback here. But if it goes like the first game, it's going to be really tough. Man, what's up with this guy's jacket? Is this like some team jacket? He's got like a whole bunch of sponsor labels and stuff. It's like one of those like legit team jackets. Anyway, where the hell did Larva go? Usually in these best of 3 series, they just play immediately. I don't know where Larva went. He just left the booth. I hope he comes back quickly. I don't know. I guess we can, you know, give him a break because he's wearing a back brace. maybe he just doesn't want to sit in the chair too long. It's like painful for his back or something. I could imagine that being the case. Yeah, awesome. Hey, random white guy. Oh, and yes, I'd like to remind everyone, as Hyde has linked in the chat, please go to the live report thread on Team Liquid and vote in the recommended game poll thing whether you thought that game was good or not, because that will help anybody watching the VODs to determine which games they should watch. So yeah, just go over here. You see, there's a poll. I'm gonna go ahead and vote this game 4 stars because of Larva. And there we go. Gotta do your part. See? It's like Starship Troopers, man. You want to be a citizen of Team Liquid? You gotta vote in the polls, live report polls.